So please allow me to show you my education page. Here's my education page. Let's have the computer read and then I will help explain. I love my Mac reading it to us.
Time to discover the best ways to use our new internet information technology such as Google, Wikipedia, social media, and sites like mine to figure out the best ways to educate our youth and create a more perfect union of free individuals. We are continuously improving our ways to help with quick and immediate access to information. We use keywords in Google searches and look for key ideas and lists of reasons and examples when we read an article or scroll down a page. The current system of school grades is not appropriate to today's living environment. There are 4 problems with the current teaching model. 1. The lecturing system. 2. The K-12 grade system. 3. The AF grade system. 4. Mandatory attendance. 1. Lecturing students in a classroom is out of date. The lecturing by the teacher should be limited to the teacher's own personal presentation on a subject and leave the bulk of the lecturing for the student to do digitally on their own. The vast majority of the social time should be spent with the students sharing what they have learned. We need a framework that guides students through the stages of the educational process in a way that keeps them interested. My education pages consist of 3 things. 1. My original education ideas. 2. My unique way of categorizing essential information. And 3 specific subject pages. The most important stuff for an academic person to know in order of importance are 1. History. 2. The world's origin stories. And 3. Which free audiobooks you can listen to. 4. The categorization of subjects.
Word. So, yeah, like absorbing information is kind of like, like superfood, you want to eat your superfood because you can absorb all the nutrients instead of having to sift through all of this chatter that distracts you. So this is kind of like boiling down all of the best information to learn. So I would say the most important stuff to know would be history, like in a technical way, just knowing all the events and the stories and which kind of and being able to categorize and classify them. If you hear of a battle, like the ancient Roman battle or whatever, of Romulus, you would know that it's not like a huge, Alexander the Great kind of battle. It's just like a tribal war and this kind of stuff. And so you can put stuff in context. So that's what my history timeline is for. And then world origin stories. Those are really interesting because people were very interesting back in the past. Different people were different and had completely different customs and different ways of living and dress, and it's in a lot of ways more exciting than today. And it's something I think we could strive to try to emulate again, as being individual based on where you are. Kind of like how it was in the past, and at least understand the degree and how people changed, the degree of which people changed, and according to how far away they were from each other, and languages too. So, but these stories are fun to listen to. This is my free audio history book section, really. This is on my website if you wanted to listen to it while you're around your computer, because it can read to you with the Macintosh. I'll demonstrate in just a second. So, and then which free audiobooks you can listen to. I have a collection of audiobooks you can listen to, including the chapters and what they're about, to help understand. It's good in order to understand information. It's good to divide it into different categories. So you would divide all the audiobooks, which I have like 1,165 of, into 76 different categories, like from the countries and the categories in the countries. But the books themselves, it's really cool to know what's in the books, what the books is about. And you can even create books from these books. How I tell people make mixtapes with music. You can do this with books. Like if you were just interested in one subject, you just sift through the book, And in my website, you can do this really easily. You just do Control F and then you do the word. see what book says it, and then you just listen to all of those chapters, and and you can extract those chapters and put them into a nice little collection. That's what I want to do. And so you can listen to like the same story from lots of different people's perspective, which is a very interesting way to study history, because different people have different ways of recounting stories, and they remember different things, and it's interesting to know what people remember in common and what only certain people remember. So I'll demonstrate that as well. The categorization of subjects. Yeah, I think it's cool to understand, be able to have that general idea about everything, be able to divide and conquer in your mind, categorize and classify everything, and know, so you know exactly how many of what there are. And I'll show that, I guess. So that's my education page. So let's see. Let's talk about my educational philosophy real quick. Yeah, lecturing system. We should not waste time just being in class. I'm comparing, yeah, how it was when I was in school, but I'm sure it's still like that. Because you can just listen to the lectures while on your MP3 while you're out on your bike. That's what I would prefer. Just ride bike all day long in the mountains on huge bike rides through the mountains. And then you listen, and then instead of being in class all day, you've been doing that. Sounds like fun. And then when you come home, that's when you would do your video about what you learned and write on your website about what you learned. So the K through 12 system, yeah, I don't see the K through 12 system as you have to show up, and then you have to take the test on this date and that date, and you have to do this on this date and that date, and it forces everybody to learn and to work on stuff at the same pace, the same stuff at the same pace, and we're not all interested in the same stuff at the same pace. We're individuals, so we should allow people to learn as fast as they want, and just throw it all in front of them from when they're tiny, and say, look, this is what you're expected to learn, and this is what you're expected to know along this stage at this age, what you're supposed to know generally, but it's all on the same framework. So, for example, on the timeline, it's like on the timeline, you only have to fill in, the countries or something when you're under third grade. I haven't figured that out yet, but so if people want to study more, there's nothing holding them back. Like just because they're in ninth grade, they can't just go ahead and kick ass on their history test and studying, and have to show up at these lecture classes when they want to just be out there riding a bike. Okay, and then the A through F system. That's just like what the teacher likes you or not, is what I have found. The grading system should be more like, the percent, 0 to 100 on all of the standardized tests, like my timeline test, which I'll explain in a bit, and people's websites and how good their videos are, demonstrating how much they know stuff. Their websites are mainly to show how creative they are and original they are, and their videos how knowledgeable they are, and the standardized tests how knowledgeable they are. So mandatory attendance, yeah, what's up with that? You got to show up at school and be there. What the fuck? Why? So to train them to be able to do it right at work? What? No, let people be free and be where they want, when they want to be. They don't have to be there to lecture. They can be out riding their bikes, listening to the stuff. I'll explain that in Bikeversity with Sanctimonium. Okay. So, let's go down here. History timeline. Check this out. I'll read this. I'll have the computer read this to us.
The most important academic thing to do in the world is to memorize all of the events of history, and one of the essential tools to archive this are good online history timelines. Out of the 694 pages to link to from this page, 618 are part of the timeline.
Yeah. One of the most important tools to archive these things are. So, I have 694 pages on my, on this page, but I have 618 pages on my timeline. So I have history divided up into 1,618 pages, which is double senatorial size. I think it's the maximum senator size of ancient Rome. It's the, double size of your normal elite army of 300. Anyway. So, here are all the pages on my timeline. The links to go between my timeline are not really working that good, but I'll show how they work. So, my timeline's pretty cool, man. I guess I'll show you my timeline because this is my education page. No, I guess this will be its own page. So yeah, so I have the history timeline, and it has 5 sections. So it goes. Do I have that written here? Yeah, here. Let me show it on here. It has 5 sections. The one that goes 3,000 years back under 2 different pages. 2,000 years to 580, and then 580 to 3,500 BC, where each column is like 500 across. Or I'll have this read it to us later. Yeah, prehistory, BC, CE, and then future, to predict the future. Free audiobooks, all of the audiobooks of the world. I have 1,159 of them, origin stories mainly, history stories. And I'll explain that on another page. Origin stories divided up into 6 pages. And then I'll explain this later. Yeah, I guess you saw that already. Okay, so free audio history books. Each country has its different thing that kind of you would divide it up. So I didn't have each country divided, part of the world divided up the same way. It's like America's really big. America has 331 free audiobooks. The way that I chose the free audiobooks was anything you could get for free on this website called archive.com. And I don't have that written here. Which you can just download, and most of them are read by normal people, and almost all of them are read by normal people, and so when you click on my audiobook page, those are the ones that have the black, and the numbers, and the ones that have the red numbers are the ones that you can. Those are the ones with the red numbers, and the ones with the black numbers are the ones you can get for free with Amazon Kindle. And Kindles are cool because they read to you, and they read very well and fast, and they're portable. Kindles are portable, and you can do word searches with Kindle. So if you're listening to a Kindle and you hear something interesting in the book that you wanted to listen to again, all you have to do is remember what was said, those words in that order, and then you just go and you do a word search, and it takes you to that area, and you know where it was in the book, and you can listen to it again. That's an advantage that you do not have when people read it to you. You have to go and find the original text. And that's also an advantage if you listen to stuff on my website, because you have the text there. I think there may even be a program to be able to transfer my text on Macs to MP3. Which would make transferring stuff from my website to MP3. I would love to do that. Listen to that, those pages, but also the Kindle. Any book that's on Kindle, you can turn that into an MP3 and have it read to you on a tiny little MP3 player. So I think there were some other collections of history books I was going to look at from another place to make sure, see which books were there that were not here. But I think it's basically the big bulk of free audio history books you can find is what I have here. So here you have all the 76 different categories. And each country organized differently. So USA has religion, because of, I guess, religion is big in America. Novels are big in America, philosophy. And I just have a lot of books from America. America's very active literally with everything, literaturely, and with everything else. Europe, more obviously. UK, biography, things specific to themselves. But when you click on here, you can actually see there's 46 books about religion in America, and you can see each and every chapter of those. So I think I'll show that in another video, though. So all of the world's origin stories also, yeah, it's 24,528 pages of text. So that's like, what is that, like almost a year of solid reading? Yeah, that's right here. So that would be like, I guess, 2 years if you're going to do it 12 hours a day. But if you're, listening to it all the time, you can get through this stuff and you can memorize everything in here within your lifetime. Imagine how smart you'd be. So here are the ones that I have right now, the origin stories. I have Asia, India, Mahabharata, divided into 18 different pages. And the Vedas, China and Buddhist Bible. That's all I have for China right now. Japanese creation story, and then, of course, the Old and New Testament. Herodotus. I'll do a video about Herodotus. I should do that maybe soon. And then these are all just the bulk of what's important. And so you can have your computer read it to you. I think I'll include that maybe now. So these are all the different kinds of learning. Okay, so yeah, let's do the audiobooks. So these are my audiobooks. So here's America. So on the top here, this is like the menu page for the rest of the page. You know what?